What is up, everybody? We are back for a crossover episode, a very special episode today. As you know, the Steelers are reporting to training camp this week. So we wanted to get a special episode with a very special guest on the one and only, the Sick Podcast, Steeler Crazy. I'm not going to give too much away, but I'm decked out in my U.S. Oakmont gear. What's up, Mike?
Yeah, shirt looks great. And you mentioned Steelers training camp right around the corner. So we thought it'd be really cool today because we're going to be 100 miles an hour Steelers from now on.
Yeah.
Do an episode that really isn't going to involve the Steelers much. However, probably the biggest of sporting event in Pittsburgh over the last handful of months, considering the Pirates suck and the only team really, other event that has happened in Pittsburgh in regard to sports with, apologies to the Riverhounds or whoever else have been playing, but the U.S. Open, what a weekend that was! Absolutely incredible, right down the street from your house, and we're excited to talk to somebody who played a big factor in the winner. So let's rock. Go ahead, Shane.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. Steelers Crazy.
Harris Smith shields. Flacco Polamalu takes it home. Super Bowl 43. Pittsburgh might be bound for that thanks to number 43.
The sickest Pittsburgh Steelers podcast.
Sports entertainment like no other. It's gonna be sick.
Yes, sir. Let's tie it into Pittsburgh here. Our guest today, golfer, caddy, U.S. Open champion, and all-around good guy. We're excited to bring him in. It is none other than Mark Carens. Mark, what's going on, brother?
Hey, how you guys doing? Thanks for having me on your show. I heard it's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Yeah, we appreciate that. And I think this is really cool because we have so many golfers, obviously, in the Berg, especially considering Oakmont and how historic it is and just all the incredible memories over the years. And you just made a huge one. Obviously, JJ winning the U.S. Open. But first, I want to take you back a little bit. Tell everybody about your golf background and journey.
Well, my dad introduced me to it, and it's funny because he took me over to Ireland 40 years ago, and so we just played the British Open last week, and he was actually a member at Portrush because back then you could buy like memberships for like £500, like overseas memberships. So he was actually a member at the place we played the British Open last week. So that was pretty cool. And I love Ireland just because he took me over there, and like that's my favorite place to play, like over there in Scotland. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
So we had
right now, like it is down here in Florida with us. You guys had some hoodie weather, which is never bad for the golf course, of course. Obviously, you're an integral part of JJ Spaun's big win. We'll get into some of the moments that stick out. But when did you first meet him, and how did that kind of come about, that relationship?
I met him. Well, I've known him because he's been on the tour for like I think this is 9th or 10th year, and so I've known him just out there. But about 5 years ago, I had gotten fired, and he was looking for a caddy, and so his mutual friends just kind of hooked us up. So just kind of started like that, just like any normal caddy, that just being in the right place at the right time, kind of like that.
I like it. So let's jump into the U.S. Open. What were the conversations leading up, and how difficult, Oakmont's, one of the most difficult courses. Just kind of talk about, I know, shout out to our guy, Mark Miller, who hooked this up. I know you guys are good buddies. You could talk a little bit about that as well. He kind of told me, you guys were mapping out the whole course, but just talk about, what goes into that and knowing how difficult this course is.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably like the toughest course in the world. Being honestly, like if you miss the fairway, you literally like don't have a shot to the green. So you just have to chip out. So unless you get really lucky and get a good lie in the rough, but that's pretty rare. But yeah, so going in, you know that it's the toughest course. And so, like you said, my buddy Mark Miller, I stayed with him. He lives right near Oakmont, 2 minutes away. And I stayed with him. He caddied for me Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. told JJ like where to hit it. Like, me and him walked the course, went over the pins like in the morning. And so, we just, he's caddied out there a million times. So I just like listened to him and, so he just, it was like, if you're ever gonna like study the toughest course, it's nice to have a guy that's been on it 1,000 times and knows every place around, and he's like, okay, for this pin, and so it was pretty cool.
What was the vibe going into it? Did he feel that he was playing his best game at the time?
He's been playing really well this, for the last year. So I think, we just lost to Rory in the at the players, and he's been playing really good. He actually missed the cut the week before, but he didn't play, it's at the Memorial, which is a really hard course too. So it's like, it was almost like good that he did that because it grind, your mind is like, playing so many hard courses in a row. But yeah, he's been playing good all year. He's been just hitting the ball good, putting good, just really doing everything, really good.
So let's talk about that because Mark was kind of telling me you guys mapped it all out, and obviously when he sunk that putt, that was a special moment. I know that was the anniversary of your father's death, so I know that's probably meant a lot to you. I remember that picture when I got that newspaper. I'd sent it over to him, and now knowing what was behind that picture, I'm getting chills right now. Just kind of talk a little bit about that, and what do you think the key to winning was? And obviously you talked about the advice you gave him, having Mark Caddie and that sort of thing, but just talk about overall what this moment meant to you.
Yeah, it was awesome. Just well, because ever since my dad died, like whenever JJ hit the ball in the rough, like he would be like, come on, Ed, or I'd be like, come on, Ed, give us a good lie, and then JJ started saying it, like, so on the on the 18th hole when Victor hit his second shot, it literally came like this far right behind our ball. So we got to watch Victor hit the putt. And so when we walked up there, we're like, thanks, Ed. You know what I mean? So like then we saw Victor's putt, and he had a great putt. So we knew exactly what it was doing. And we just picked a spot. And then you can see us like, or you can see me like, when he hit it, I was just looking at the spot and he literally hit it right over our spot and then I was just like, oh, that looks like it's pretty good speed. And then, then I kind of remember going in, but I don't remember him like picking me up and he
Wow.
threw his putter and like, I didn't know where it was. And then they're like, it's in the bunker. And then, so I took it out of the bunker and the head was like in the bunker, so but there was another group behind us, so I didn't even like rake the bunk, like I didn't even think to, like, not that, I mean, but they could have like hit it into that same spot and be like, what is this hole? It's, you know what I mean? So I just like kind of remember it, but not, it's all like kind of a blur.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable. I'm sure a lot of emotions going through you, winning and all of that. So it's just great stuff all around, man. Mike?
Yeah, just before we get you out of here, a couple things I want to ask about your guys' resiliency. I know he didn't have the greatest moving day, some ups and downs before Sunday. Talk a little bit about just how he hung in there, and is that just kind of your guys' mentality all around?
Yeah, he's a warrior. He just battles like through, it doesn't matter. I mean, and it just shows you like on Sunday, we literally, well, we bogeyed the first hole, made it actually a good bogey, if there is such a thing. And then two, he had a great drive and a great second shot that would have been like a kick-in birdie, and it hit the pin and
Oh, yeah.
bounced all the way off the green and then made a good chip and made bogey. So it was like, talk about, you know, and then the next hole hit a pretty okay drive, like in the first cut, short, chipped it up, made another bogey. And then it's like, I'm like, Dad, where are you? Like, what are you doing over here? You drinking a beer? Like, wake up. And but then he finally made a par on 4, and which is a par 5, which he can reach in 2. So that's kind of like a bogey, but not, but I was like, all right, high five, at least we made a par, and then made 2 more bogeys in a row. So being 5 over through 6, like, that's to come back from that. That's, of course, like, you, in order to win the US Open, you have to definitely, that is his strength, his mental attitude. So that was crazy.
I was literally going to ask you about that shot that hit the flagpole. I don't know if I've ever seen a shot like that. Rolls like almost right back to his feet.
Yeah, I mean, it was. It was to come back from that, and like on the fourth hole, the par 5, he hit a rake, so he had to like, lay up like baseball swing, kind of like that. So I mean, to come back from that, and we did get a good break by, having the rain come, because we were obviously 5 over and hitting our tee shot into the pouring rain on the toughest hole, like driving hole on the course, and then they blew the horn. So when they did that, that was the break, because he got to change clothes, reset, like came out like, okay, because that happened to us in the Players when, so he was, we had a 4-hour delay, and when he came back from that, he was like the best player out there, and so I think he learned from that, and then that really helped us.
Great stuff. So obviously you've been around the game of golf. You said it your whole life, ever since you were a young boy. But how recently has your life changed? I know are you doing any photo ops or autograph signings nowadays after winning the U.S. Open?
It's coming.
No, that's okay. That's now caddies, like, we don't have to sign autographs. That's for the guys that hit the shots and stuff. Like, we're part of the team, but those guys are the ones that, deserve all the credit. So
Hey, but you're the guys behind the scenes that are making it happen. Like I said, having Mark and having that connection, it's a good stuff all around. Hey, before we get you out of here, really appreciate your time. And like I said, we talked off air. We know you're a Pats fan. We won't hold that against you, even though that we're a Steelers podcast. I guess Tom Brady retired now, so it's all good. But anything else? What's going on next? What do you and JJ have planned, and you personally?
We have 2 weeks off, so just gonna hang out with my kids. Hopefully now my daughter's 19, so she doesn't really like to hang out with me anymore. But my son, he's 16, so play golf with him, and then we start the playoffs in 2 weeks, or and Memphis, and then Memphis, Chicago, and then the Tour Championship in Atlanta. And then the most important thing is he's on the Ryder Cup, so
Yeah.
that's gonna be like the greatest thing that I'll have ever done, probably. So
USA. Let's go.
that's what I'm really looking forward to. Yeah.
One thing more before we get you out of here. What was something that stuck out to Oakmont? Were you able to, like, obviously I know you went down to Anytime Fitness Oakmont, and Mark told me that I guess now we'll have to put a plaque up there that you hold the pull-up record. But
No, that's you. That's you, man. I saw you working out. I was like, dang, man. Like, I didn't even want to work out after looking at what you do. So
but I appreciate it. But anyways, what stuck out to you in Oakmont? Obviously, it's a great town with a lot of history, obviously. Were you able to, did you know anything about Pittsburgh before coming here, rather than, that Mark lived here?
Well, actually, my buddies live. I got 2 friends that actually. Well, my buddy's brother, he's a member there, or 2 of his brothers are a member there. So we actually played it like 2 weeks before. Yeah, so it was. I mean, obviously the fans were. I mean, they were so good for. They were so good for JJ, and they were cheering him on, and it was like me and Mark went out every single night, like, kind of probably stayed out too late, but it was fun hanging out with
He wants to come
guys.
to join the podcast
with the guys and stuff. Yeah, so it was awesome. I mean, obviously couldn't have worked out any better, but
yeah. Well,
I like that Helltown beer. That's pretty good.
Yeah, there's a lot of good breweries here.
Sure.
I think I drank them out, so hopefully they restocked it.
Yeah, Mark was showing me pictures in a Champions Room. It looked like you guys were really enjoying yourself, and couldn't happen to a better person. Just everything that he told me. Yeah, man, it's been great having you on. And next time you're up in Pittsburgh, let us know. Permani's on me.
Yeah, 100%, man. We got to have some beers, and I'm going to follow your show now because you guys are the best. So thanks for having me on.
We appreciate it. Best of luck.
Week three. Let's go. Might have to have you back on. Drake May time versus Aaron Rodgers.
All right, let's go.
Appreciate it. Congratulations.
Well, I'll come back on when we beat you guys that week.
There
So.
it is.
There you go. What? So you're already predicting. So
All is fair in love and war. All is fair.
Just kidding. You guys were all going to kill us. So, but
No way.
we'll
No
see.
way.
Hey, it's going to be interesting to say the least.
all right. Well, you guys have a good one, man. Thanks again.
Thank you, Mark. Take care.
See you later.
It's amazing. I went out this past weekend in South Florida, and I know he's in Florida, and I played 18 in 100-degree weather, and by the end, I couldn't even swing a club. I was sweating, tired, weak. You know, I work out a little bit too, like you. I'm not Jordan York over here, but I thought I'd at least have some stamina. For what I'm getting at is, for anybody that says golfers aren't athletes,
Oh my gosh.
they don't just play 18. They play 18 4 days in a row, right? And then they probably play it earlier in the week as well. And think about a caddy. Think about holding. I'm tired in a golf cart, bro. Driving in a golf cart for 18 holes. This guy's carrying a 30, 40-pound bag on his back.
Yeah. And it's a mental game too. That's another thing. Like physically and mentally, you're exhausted. I'm exhausted from going to Idlewild all day with my kid.
I'm telling you, man.
So,
these guys are, it's impressive. Like, he's not just holding a golf. Think about 5 hours a day holding 40 pounds outside for 4.
it's impressive.
Caddies are athletes too, so people might think.
And he talked about having that connection with Mark. Shout out to Mark again, Mark Miller, that is. And you know, he's a caddy, you know, at Oakmont, so he knows the course better than everyone. So you know, that contributed a lot. You know, I'm sure, you know, having that upper edge as well. But it's just a great story, man. And I love doing this. I know that we did, you know, Yins Are Crazy for a while and had numerous, you know, former athletes and current athletes on. So it's good right before, you know, the Steelers head to training camp kind of to do a crossover. And yeah, I mean, Oakmont US Open's biggest thing, it happens every 8-9 years, I think. And you know, it's the biggest thing, you know, that Western Pennsylvania, you know, it's a national event. People are coming from all over. It's the Super Bowl of golf. And kind of to have it, you know, I could throw a pebble. You know, we went there when you came up, you know, the week of, and it's just amazing what it lights up this town and, you know, gets everyone talking. And even if you don't have the golf bug, it kind of is intriguing to you. And I think that's what is awesome. And Oakmont's such a great town, and the people. So it couldn't happen to a better place with better people. So great stuff for Mark. Really.
U.S. Open Championship trophy, and you know, the guy we had on today got to hold it. So pretty badass.
Probably drink out of it too.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if it's like the Stanley Cup. I don't know if it has like a.
No. I heard DeChambeau pouring muscle milk into it and drinking it. So.
I mean, I'm surprised he didn't just take a bite of it and start chewing metal.
Hey, but yeah, training camps here. Back to some Steeler talk. TJ Watt signed. So I'm glad that, you know, I know we did a podcast last week right before that happened, so we didn't even really get to talk about that. But I'll just say this. I mean, I think it's warranted. Definitely got to get a playoff win. 3-year deal. Obviously wanted to be the highest paid. I get it. Is it deserving? Yes, but now it's time to produce. And with that being said, I'm just glad full-heartedly that it got done before training camp, because you don't want that looming over. You know, it's just time to get to work at this point. You know, everything's in order, so it's just time to put the head down and go to work.
Yeah, I mean, the Steelers have shown all offseason that they're all in. You bring in a veteran quarterback like Rodgers, corner like Jalen Ramsey, some older players. Well, you can't be all in if you don't have the best player on your team. So it's a good thing that the contract got done, and it's a good thing that there's no lingering drama with anybody really going into camp, at least at the moment. No drama around Rodgers right now, none around Watt. Nothing I could think about that, you know, we're sitting here today talking about saying, like, this needs to get fixed. This is a problem. Now things will arise. Of course, you got a quarterback who had a literal show on Netflix called Enigma. But as of now, everything is peaceful. And I don't know, for a podcast, we don't like it that way. because it's less to talk about. But you know,
Something's going to happen, and
Right.
this is the overreaction time. I honestly try and stay off of Twitter because it's like people will go up to training camp and they'll be like this and it, like trying to overanalyze. I get that people are excited, but it's just like just give it a rest. In week one. That's when it starts. I love the preseason. I say it all the time because it's the only time that I could watch Steeler football and my blood pressure isn't through the roof. And, we have a lot of these guys on that are trying to make the 53-man roster. And it's very, people are like, oh, like all the second string, third string, the scrubs are in. To me, these guys are playing. Those are the guys. This is their Super Bowl. And I'm rooting for every single one of them. I love a true underdog story. You've seen, James Harrison's a perfect example. You have your foot in the door. Now it's time to prove yourself. And, I'm sure there will be some diamonds in the rough, as they say. So really excited for this year. Again, I told you, I think, 3 or 4 months ago, my optimism was at like a 5. I would say now it's at about an 8. And it's definitely trending upward, but still, like I said, it could be a complete disaster or this could be, a Super Bowl championship run. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, there are examples every single season. Beanie Bishop last year, undrafted, got a lot of playing time, intercepted Aaron Rodgers twice. So there's another example. And who knows, one of the undrafted guys could come around this year, or Jack Sawyer, Will Howard in the future. Like you said, late picks could be diamonds in the rough. But I'll tell you what, like I said at the start of the show, from here, probably all the way until this time next year in August, it's Steelers on out. So we're excited to bring you the coverage, bring you the guests. We thank Mark for jumping on, and we thank Shane in the background. And until next time, here we go.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Steelers Crazy on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.